The kid gloves is the treatment that Hunter Biden has received from this Department of Justice. Is like keeping the concept of the DOJ protecting Democrats while hunting Republicans.
It's a big concern of ours that this is a two-tier justice system and the Bidens are being protected.
This is the Biden administration and his hitman, Merrick Garland and Jack Smith, going after their political rival. It stinks of two-tier justice.
They're taking the rule of law, turning it on its head.
Republican lawmakers arguing there are two tiers of justice in the U.S. as the Biden DOJ files multiple indictments against former President Trump and current GOP, who is the current GOP frontrunner. We're also expecting more indictments coming up in the next week or two, we've been told. Our next guest fled authoritarian countries where political opponents are regularly targeted and jailed by the government. So what do they think? Joining us now is Venezuelan immigrant and dissident project speaker Jorge, and Iranian immigrant and dissident project speaker Tahmineh. I'm going to start with you, Jorge. I had an interview on a podcast with a couple of Venezuelans who had left in time, and I asked them, when did you know that things were really going wrong, that the you-know-what has hit the fan? And they said, when the justice system became corrupt and when it started working only for one party and imprisoning others. What are you seeing? What is your experience? What scares you or worries you about what you're seeing now with President Trump?
Well, good morning.
Good morning.
This definitely sets a really dangerous precedent, in my opinion. I don't like the fact that we're seeing the main opposition leader to the Biden administration being prosecuted, while at the same time we're seeing all of these corrupt deals that Hunter Biden is doing, and almost nothing is happening to him. I think I can relate a little bit with my situation in Venezuela. We saw how the main opposition leaders in Venezuela are currently being either incarcerated or being, not allowed to participate in elections. And yeah, it's completely scary. However, I don't think we are in the same situation, which is hopeful in my opinion. I do believe that we can still trust the justice system. Hopefully, Trump is going to receive a fair trial, which is something that we lost completely in Venezuela. We cannot expect something like that to happen in Venezuela. When the regime puts the eye on you, you are done. Here, we're not yet there, but we could definitely get there if things get becoming worse.
Well, I mean, we have a judge for this trial who, worked with Hunter Biden, who we know is a total partisan. So we'll see. I mean, there is hope. We have a system, but it certainly looks to be breaking. And it's interesting that alarm bells are going off for you. Tahmineh, tell me about the situation in Iran. In Iran, your grandfather was, in danger of being executed, and you guys escaped. So what are the parallels that concern you here?
One of the main reasons that I came to the United States was because there is no reliable justice system in Iran. My grandfather was almost executed without trial only because he was a public servant in the previous government before the Islamic Revolution. And I see some of the trends happening in the United States. For example, one thing that particularly really concerned me about the Hunter Biden plea deal was lack of transparency. Obviously, transparency is the hallmark of the democratic system and is protected by our Constitution. The other thing that really concerned me about former President Trump's indictment was the fact that his attorneys were named as co-conspirators. In Iran, a lot of attorneys that represent political opponents are also prosecuted. And in this case, one thing that really concerned me as a law student is I do not want to see attorneys that simply gave legal advice to their clients face criminal charges of being threatened to have their licenses revoked. So I believe that there is still hope. Thankfully, we have a justice system that has these levers of transparency. However, we need to remain vigilant.
That's a great point you bring up, that we could see charges against people giving legal advice to somebody is a new next level thing for America, and something we should be very concerned about. What kind of advice would you give to Americans? I mean, you seem to be a little more hopeful, Jorge, and maybe because the system is so bad in Venezuela. But what are the things that you would advise Americans in this situation?
Well, I think my main advice would be to remain vigilant, to care about your rights, to go out there and protest whenever you see something that is not right. That's actually why we're here out there in the field. We are part of the Dissident Project. We visit high schools to basically teach students about our own experiences in the countries that we left behind, so they can learn the basics of individual liberty, of human rights and everything, right? So that's my advice. take care of your rights, protect your freedom. You can easily lose it if you don't do things right. It happened in Venezuela. We were a democratic nation, not anymore. So, yeah.
Tahmineh, a lot of people feeling like they are being persecuted right now, and so they want to keep quiet. Jorge saying, speak out while you can, essentially. Is that your advice as well?
Yes, obviously. And this is the reason I go and speak to high school students through Dissident Project. I want to tell them about my story as a woman growing up in Iran, because our freedoms can be taken away immediately. 40 years ago, Iran was a liberal country, but right now we're living under one of the most tyrannical regimes in the world. Therefore, I think it's important to continue fighting for liberty in America.
Well, we are certainly on the road to tyranny here in America, and you guys give us hope that maybe we can turn things around. Thanks for what you do, and thanks for the Dissident Project, which is teaching so many young people to cherish their freedoms and rights. Both of you, thank you.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.